And we're live. This is Justin West from Podcast Portugal. I want to welcome a very good friend of mine, Pedro Guerreiro. And I want to pronounce your name correctly, Pedro, because
Guerreiro.
Guerreiro. It's a very Portuguese last name. It means the warrior. And it's very difficult for an English person to roll the R's like this. It's not easy. It's like in Arabic and Portuguese is very similar. And okay, full disclosure, we are. Let me see. It's Saturday night, the 22nd of March. It's 23:21 in the evening. So we've had a really fantastic day. It's terrible weather here in Portugal at the moment. We're in Porto at Claudia and Pedro's beautiful house that they have as a alojamento local, which is an AL, an Airbnb in Porto. And we just went to one of our favorite restaurants and they had the fire going. It was very beautiful. The ocean outside is absolutely crazy at the moment. Very windy, very stormy, intervals of rain, but very beautiful. We've come home, come back here, and I made a little bit of English stew, a bit of a beef casserole for the guys to experiment. The kids, well, it was mixed, 50-50 appreciation of the beef casserole. And yeah, it's late at night. We've had some vinho, and this podcast is all about, what is it about? Well, it's from markets to vinho. This is a conversation with Pedro Guerreiro. Guerreiro.
Yes.
So this is a little bit of a new venture. So we're exploring Portugal's economy, stock trading, and Alentejo's finest wine. So we're going to be drinking a little bit of wine and talking about Portugal's economy. So I'd like to welcome both the listeners and Pedro. Tell me a little bit about your background in economics and your role at the INE, which is the Instituto Nacional de Estatística.
Yeah, you are becoming better, much better in Portuguese. Yeah. So first of all, thank you for the invitation.
Very welcome.
And today we had a really nice day. We had some arroz de lagosta, which was beautiful, and sargo. And after in the night for dinner, we just discovered here in Portugal that the English people can make food. It was really good, and it was not 50-50. It was like 100%.
Yeah.
My oldest child loved the food. Thank you very much once more. So I work in INE, Instituto Nacional de Estatística. Okay. I'm responsible for the service turnover index and employment and earning and hours worked. And nowadays, Portugal is really pumping in the international scene. So I hope to give a good presentation of our country and our economy in this podcast.
I mean, as of 2025, I'm going to sound very up on my metrics here, but actually, all of the metrics suggest that Portugal is, according to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, Portugal projects a real GDP growth by 2.3% in 2025. The European Union, the forecasted increase is approximately 1.5% in 2025, indicating a slowdown in previous years. So Portugal is doing pretty well. The European Central Bank anticipates a real GDP growth of 0.9% for the euro area in 2025. Expectations of strengthening to 1.2% in 2026 to 1.3% in 2027, according to the European Central Bank. So Portugal's Rita's looking at me going, where the hell are you getting all these statistics from?
Even me, I don't understand what are you saying.
I'm blowing you away by this, right? But Portugal's projected GDP growth, which is gross domestic product, which we actually could probably spend some time explaining what that is. Growth surpasses both the broader EU and EU area averages, highlighting its robust economic performance. Portugal's inflation, the IMF forecasts like a 2.1% increase in consumer prices for Portugal in 2025. Euro area, as of February 2025, the annual inflation rate in the euro area was 2.3%, down from 2.5% in January. This is according to the European Commission. Portugal's inflation rate is slightly below the EU average, area average, suggesting stable price levels within the country. Unemployment, which could be considered another metric of the economic status of the country. Portugal's unemployment rate is projected to be about 6.4% in 2025.
Yeah.
The EU area expects EU area's unemployment rate to be about 6.3%. Edging down to 6.2 in 2027. The European Central Bank, this is all according to them. So Portugal's unemployment rate aligns closely with the euro area average, reflecting a stable labor market. And this is a positive sentiment and consistent with the euro area, where the unemployment rate has remained at a historic low of 6.2% for the fourth consecutive month, despite a stable GDP in the last quarter, according to the Euronews. So what the fuck does that all mean?
Okay. After all that numbers, which
okay.
they are not very important for the listeners, I believe.
Full disclosure, that is all that the ChatGPT told me about the Portuguese economy at the moment.
Of course. Maybe it's true. I don't know. Yeah, the growth rate that they estimate in 2025, I believe, between 2 and 2.5. So, yeah, it's between that bounds, and it is good. It is good. I don't know how the Europe will grow with these new measures from US, and we are very dependent from US. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, I think Portugal is doing better, but we are coming from a very low point. So we expect to be better in that way. We passed a really bad time after the 2008 crisis that spilled over to Europe, of course, and all over the world. And here we really felt it since, I don't know, 2011 was really strong when the government had to add these big measures, and the government just went down, and you had Troika here, and we had all these problems. And in 2013, there was this turning point after Mario Draghi, at that time, the central banker of ACB, said in I think in July or June, he said, I do whatever it takes. And after that, the markets just turned around, and everything changed from there. We did our work, and our debt to GDP ratio, which is a measure, it makes sense for some people, for others no. But our debt went from I don't know, 130 something to nowadays I think is below 100%. I think is 97 or 98%. So which is much better.
Let's get for a dumbass like me, like explain. I understand what GDP stands for, is gross domestic product.
Yeah, is a measure of
what
something.
Is that measuring? It's like how many TVs you have in the house and how many cars, or what?
Yeah, is the amount of money that is circulating in the economy, and And this account, it is very difficult to understand or explain, but is the amount of money that is circulating in the economy, and you can reduce that if you do it per capita. It's not a fair measure, but sometimes you can do it to evaluate the quality of life or the richness of the country. Okay, it's not a fair measure, but it's a measure that we have nowadays, at least for the West countries. Yes, and in the West countries, you have to be fair. No one is really, really poor, like in Africa or some places like some small places in India. So nowadays we have to use these measures to just evaluate and create policies, or to give these measures to the politicians to understand the state of the economy. So it's not good. It's the ones that we have nowadays.
Okay. Ethan, can you pour more wine for us, please? Because we let's have a little bit. And part of this podcast, actually, I think I forgot to mention is we formulated something called the Alentejo Wine Appreciation Society.
Wine Appreciation Societies. So you are trying good wines, ones from Casa Relvas. Yes.
Yeah, we're experimenting with Casa Relvas, and this is one of the...
You already drank some white ones?
Yeah, we had the São Miguel.
São Miguel, which is very good.
What's the label on there, Rita? Because the white wine was the same label as that one. What was that one? This one is the São Miguel do Sul, which is their signature...
That one.
The signature brand. You can pick it up in the supermarket. Yeah, this is... you need to hand that to Pedro to pronounce that, because we had the white wine
version. I'm much better pronouncing Portuguese.
Colheita
Selecionada is 2022. Colheita. Yeah.
So we had the white wine version of that, which
is amazing.
Which is very nice.
It's really good.
So this, I think, their price point is probably like €5.60 or something like that.
But it's really fair. It's a really good wine.
And it's very good, I think, with seafood and...
The white one, yes. This one, it marries really well with some good meat.
Yeah.
Grilled one, yeah.
Yeah. And what we have with we had the Cigonia. With the Cigonia.
Yeah, the first one was Cigonia, yes.
This is one we discovered again. It's from Casa Relvas. Most of these wines, apart from one or two recommendations,
I really love the wine scene here in Portugal. So I'm trying to become more acquire more knowledge about the wines. So I'm trying to find some cheap ones that are really good. And I bought one that is not expensive at all, and I think is really fair for the price. Yes.
And you have a friend here in Porto which has a
Pedro Martins has a really good wine shop and a wine bar that I really recommend. He opens maybe in the middle seasons. I know, spring.
Okay, springtime for the summer. And...
Yes, because Porto is empty during the winter, but it's a really cool place, and you have to try it. Yes.
Yeah, yes. And he has in someone like Pedro, you can go in there and sort of say, what wines you recommend for this?
You will have all the stories about all the wines, and if you will give you the taste. And if you like it, he will sell you the glass. If you don't, you can change it. Yes, really? Yes. It's really cool.
I think it's a really nice idea for us to be discovering wines and to look, to be realistic. You're gonna drink a bottle of wine. You want to spend around about between €5 and €10. I think is a good price point.
Yeah, I think so. You can find here in Portugal maybe between €5 and €10. You for sure will have a good time with wine.
Yes, for me, if I don't have a headache, it's always a good one.
Yes, that's why I switched from beer to wine, because
really?
It's completely crazy the headache that I had with beer.
Yeah,
and the wine experience is completely different.
Okay, that's good to know.
Maybe
some
it's
wines
because
will
you
give
drink
me
less. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, some wines will give me a very bad.
Yeah, the bad ones.
Yeah, I think it's the bad ones, and it's the ones with the chemicals, I think, or the tannins, or there are certain levels of sulfate.
Yeah, but you have to begin with that ones because it's the ones that are available in the supermarket. Most of them are really chemical ones.
Yeah.
After a while, you start to experience another ones, and you feel the difference. It's really different. Really.
I mean, I this is how I discovered Casarelvis, because like it was one of the first wines from the supermarket at a reasonable price that I wasn't getting a headache, and I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Done a little bit more research and looked online. And of course, I had the podcast interview with Alexander Relvish Jr. And he explained to me all of their regenerative process, and they don't put chemicals and sprays and all that kind of thing. They have and it makes a massive difference to the
completely
wine.
Completely different. If you taste it when they do a good wine and you taste it, it's completely different.
Yeah,
really,
it's such a nice quality, and to see how it's made, and you can actually go there and visit, and
even here in Portugal, we are. I don't know. Maybe I don't know I'm not a wine expert, but I feel that since the 2000s, when we open a bit more because of the EU, all the knowledge maybe came here. We became very well known, mostly in the north first, but after Alentejo as well. And we start to grow our quality of wine, and the winemakers start to bet a bit more in the quality of their wines, to do a bit more high end ones. And nowadays you can grab a good bottle for a fair price, or maybe a small price in the I don't know, UK standards or US standards. You can grab a good wine for, I don't know, €7, which is impossible to get in US for sure.
I mean, it seems that when I visited some of the vineyards around here, and particularly around here, and I've done some research on wine in Portugal. I've seen that there was significant investment in the wine industry here. It's part and parcel of not only the enoturism, but also the restaurant culture here of quality food and serving good food, good wine. Portugal always has like this little thing with a little bit modest about what they produce, and
all the time.
Not
we cannot
too much.
brand is one of our biggest problems.
And when you discover, you realize that the quality is really on
it's really good, and we are open to learn to change processes if we need to. And I think we have to become we have to grow in that area of marketing to mark our products that are really good. Our wine is maybe one of the best in the world. I don't know, but I think it compares with Spain, some of them with France and Italy, and which are countries that have a long history of winemakers. And when I speak about wine, I speak about chews, I speak about closes, that we can do much better regarding the marketing of our brands, and we can grow in that area. Regarding the wine, here in Alentejo, I think we can feel that this area of, for example, Vidigueira, or Herdade da Malhadinha, or Herdade dos Grãos, or other areas like this, they are really growing with the interest of people that are interested in this tourist wine experience. And we can grow from there, because Portugal nowadays are most about Algarve, Lisbon, and Porto, which is very important, because in 2010 we didn't have that many interests from outside. Nowadays we have. The interest came mostly from UK and Germany to come to Algarve to go to the beaches and drink beer in the bars. Nowadays Lisbon is pumping. Is really interesting very well known for the US, UK, German, I don't know, all over the world. And I think we have much more potential in the interior, and we have to. And actually, the government is betting, is trying to. The government should and is trying to put the interior of Portugal, Alentejo.
So when we say the interior, we mean not the littoral. We don't mean the coastal
not the
areas,
waves, not the beaches, because of course you have that.
More, which actually, as a surfer and a surf coach, I'm always sort of hanging around the littoral, along the coastline. But then when I start to discover the interior, you have massive castles and
and a lot of culture in Portugal.
Culture.
Portugal is really small for the country, but if you travel around, it's really different between the regions. And even I am from Alentejo, Beja. Actually, I was born in Lisbon, but I lived all my life in Beja, and some of it in Algarve as well. And when you go around, it looks. If I go to Porto, it looks like another country inside our country with our language. We have the same aims. We like the same things, but the culture is really different. So if you come to Portugal, if you want to spend a month traveling around, for sure you'll see different things all over.
Yeah. I mean, if you would, how do you think the wine culture of Alentejo compares to other regions of Portugal? I mean, we have very famous regions of Down and what's the other?
Down Douro. Douro is the famous one. Douro is the famous one. But I'm not a wine expert. But
that is where the Porto wine is.
Yes,
is the river in Porto.
Yeah, and I don't know the history, but what I heard is that the Porto wine, it became very, very famous because our connection with English people.
Okay.
So they kind of exploit our capacity to do this good wine.
Port wine, yeah.
Yes. And they do it better. They sold it better than we were able to do it. Like we did with the shoes or other stuff.
So they took a Portuguese product, which was a Porto wine.
No, they didn't took because
wine, and they marketed it better, or they had the.
Maybe we didn't market well and they did it better.
Okay.
But the opportunity is ours to take. So we didn't. So they did.
But the actual creation of the product is port wine is where from? It's from
Douro. It's from Porto. Yes.
A fortified wine from Porto. So when you see like Taylor's port wine, for example, that is an English brand. But they take the wine from Portugal and bottle it.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not fair saying like that, because you need also the investment to do the brand, you need the money as well, and that's is unfair for the investment people to say, okay, that product is ours and you rob us. No, it's not true. It's not true, because maybe you cannot develop it.
So we can say it's a Taylor's brand, and that Taylor's brand doesn't have to be geographic.
Yes. And it is like that with most of the things. Yeah. You can grab, I don't know, Google. It is US company. It is US based, but most of the engineers maybe are not from US.
In Ireland and most of
Yeah, and they diversified, and they are all over the world. It's not the US. Nowadays Google is everywhere. You use it. Everybody uses it. They are not interested to be US-based company. Maybe they say it to the US government, but when they arrive here, they say, "Well, we are a world company."
Their headquarters in Ireland, aren't they?
Yes, they pay taxes or something like taxes in Ireland. Yes,
I had a lot of my surf coaching clients during COVID were Google clients, because they closed Google and they all came to Portugal to work remotely and did surf coaching with me. It was very cool.
During COVID.
Yeah,
during COVID, Portugal Portugal changed a bit, because there was these two happenings was COVID and the Ukraine-Russian war. Most of the coders from Russia during the war, they just came to Porto and Portugal.
Okay.
And actually, the broker that we work with, the broker, most of the coders that do the code for them, the broker is US based, and they speak a lot about that because they came from Russia. They just came to Portugal because it's very easy. The internet connections are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheap. So we had that opportunity. I think that we took it without we knowing that we are taking that opportunity. Because during COVID, you had to stay at home. And okay, if you have a nice place that is cheap, that has a good connection with the world, you take it and you stay here.
Yeah. A van in Starlink.
Yes, yes,
can be. So when you say a broker, what do you mean? You this is to do with the economic your job, or this is to do with your
no, it's a side gig that I had for many years. I used to trade with or invest in the market.
Okay. This is something I wanted to ask you about. Is we talked many times because I've done some investments in the stock market, and
and you did very well.
I did very well and very basic, and I read the normal books, the Bibles of trading,
yes,
of long-term investment and all that kind of thing. But there is there is an area of investing which I know nothing about, and it's to do with options, which is what you trade a lot in options, because we were talking about recently how the markets have adjusted. Some tech stocks fell, and I was like, okay, and some people that I actually said, hang on to those stocks or even buy more now that they've fallen. It's potential to, when stocks fall, usually they go in cycles, and then maybe they go back up again, maybe they don't. But in the long term, according to Warren Buffett, perhaps in the long term, you're always going to win if you have a diversified portfolio. And then
which he doesn't have.
Which he probably doesn't have. Yes. Well, I'm always suspicious because whatever I hear recommended on whatever media outlet you receive on in terms of stocks, I listen to it and go, okay, what are they trying to make me buy so that they can?
Yeah, that's completely true. It's completely true.
What is the news that they're spinning to make you either buy or not buy or hedge your bets or whatever? But you trade in options, so let's explain a little bit. Because as an economist, you are intellectually engaged in the economy, and you maybe see things in the world economy, and ideas and things that are happening that sort of more basic prospectors or gamblers or investors they may not see. So what is your interest in options?
My idea is completely on the contrary. So being studied economics really didn't help me, and I really think that nobody needs to understand really deep economics or study in school.
No.
So no, I don't. I really don't. I really don't.
So how long did you study economics for, and where did you study them?
I studied in ISCTE, and I did a master's in economics.
And how long did that take?
Oh, 2 years. The master was 2 years.
And the degree took 4 years.
Yes, five.
And you're saying that doesn't matter in terms of
regarding the markets. Yeah. Regarding the markets, my job is another thing that I have to do math and try to explain some things that already happened. But the market is not about the things that already happened. It's about the things that the market thinks that are going to happen in the future.
Yeah,
and okay, I start to trade stocks with my father, and after a while, I did what everybody does. I bought some stocks, I sold them, sometimes with a loss, sometimes with the winners. Most of the times you win, but you don't win that much. You just feel great because you
it's like
you
going to the
won
casino,
something,
right?
Yes, you won something.
It's similar averages to the casino.
After a while, I think in 2017 or 18, I don't know, 17, I think, I found these guys that they were really well-known guys. They built one big brokerage firm, which was Thinkorswim, that later on was sold to, I think, E-Trade, but I'm not sure. And these guys built a platform which is called nowadays Tasty Trade. At that time, they had this channel in the internet that do research. It's like a think tank, and they start to show me a lot of statistics about trading and about options. And in the end of the day, what they show is that nobody knows anything. So if nobody knows anything, it is not important if you study a lot about a company or about whatever. The most important thing is your decision and the timing of your decision. Okay. For example, nowadays a lot of companies are losing value in the market. I don't know why they are doing, but the market value, for example, of Apple just changed from 252 to 213 in, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. My risk reward is much better now if I want to enter. If I left the company at 252 and I was waiting to get in, so let me just wait for a pullback. Now it's for 40 euros, $40 cheaper. So now I have an opportunity to go in. So that's it. It's just about risk and reward. And I don't put too much work and trying to understand what's going to happen in the future, because the options market is saying me what is the expected value of the price of the stock or some product that is in the market in the next days. So an option is the right. You have call options and put options. Call options is the right to buy a stock at some price at some date. And between this date and the other date and the date that you buy the option, you can exercise the contract. The put option is the right to sell an asset. Most of the options works like, how I can say, is seguro, is like a protection for an holder. Imagine that you have 100 options of Apple, for example, or ABC stock, whatever, and the stock is quoting at $100. And you just buy a put option, it gives you the right to sell an option at 95. The stock drops to 85, and you can exercise the option at 95, so you earn $10 more so you protect yourself. Okay. So that's the point of options. If you sell the option, you just start selling. You are just selling a premium to the one that want to be protected. So that's the point of an option.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's a good explanation. That makes it very clear. I mean, I've always stuck to just traditional buying. And I must admit, I'm a victim of buying for brands. Which is what's been marketed, and I will look at the value and I'll try to analyze some of the data, but a lot of the time, like the money that I did make was from things like GameStop.
Yes. When you're
rolling on the wave
box
of marketing, and yeah, exactly. And or some stocks that you fully understand and you think are usable. Like if you think things like I use an Apple,
Yeah.
and I think that Apple products are good, and
And
but
you have
you
time.
realize now like that there has not been much innovation with Apple, so you think
So
maybe that
you.
stock is going to. It's not actually very complicated if you try
It
to
is
think
not.
about it very
It is not.
practically.
It is not.
And I think if we were recommending people to buy stocks, I would say to buy stocks in brands that you love, because if you love them, other people love them, and
You are right.
perhaps everybody else will.
You are right. If
Yeah.
if you are buying stocks and you are keeping them for the long run, yes. Most of the time you
For
will,
the long run. That's
yes.
the case, right?
Because the economy from the point, from the data that we have, the economy has this positive drift, so it will grow. At some point it will grow, so we'll never get stuck, and maybe at some year you can retrieve a bit, but not for a long shot. So maybe 1-2 years.
It's always
But
good
no,
looking at the metric charts that you get to
yes,
to enter in that parameter, like 1 to 5 years or 1 to 10 years, and you'll see that the index funds or the indexes are
even your life
gradually going up.
Your life is much better today than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, and how that's
should be.
How that's possible is a question, right? And it's also to do with property investment as well. It's a similar thing. Like in the UK anyway, from my experience, like you buy a property at X amount, you almost expect, even if
you have to
you have to. It will rise, and you kind of have to understand. You have to ask the question, like, why does it?
It has to increase in value. If there is inflation, the price should go up.
So if there's inflation, the price of properties or shares should go up.
For example, I have this statistic is really struck me because I heard some weeks ago, and in US, since the 30s, the housing market only declined. So it declined only 2 years. So you are speaking about 100 years. So the real estate market only declined 2 years. Imagine the amount of money or the amount of value that you can compound in all these years if you just have a property for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. You see?
And do you think that property needs to be... I mean, in Portugal and in Europe, we or at least in certain parts of Europe, we tend to build in stone. Okay, so or we build in concrete, or we build in block, and a lot of the US properties, for example, are built in wood.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And over time, wood is probably got a less lifespan than, say, for example, stone.
Yeah, but the space is there.
Space is there, and then that holds the value.
There's no much more space in the world. So I think that's it. So that is the most important thing.
Is the land that it's built on, you think?
I think so. So. Yes. Even here in Portugal, I believe we had this really big dictatorship of Salazar, and we are open since 1974. So we are relatively new open country. We enter in the EU, I think, in 92, 92, but we are really open with the euro in 2000. And now we are start to feeling the people come here and trying to understand. Even us are trying to be more open to the world. And I think our property, the values of the price of our properties will increase for sure. I'm really sure. I'm really positive in the growth of the country, because we came from a really small place and we have a big big route to make in the future. I'm really believing that.
And so we're talking about the big picture of the Portuguese economy. Like, the current state seems very positive, and
it's not very positive, but is much more positive than the other ones
relative to other countries, particularly the UK at the moment. We have a lot of negative response from the.
I don't know about UK, but yeah,
taxes, and now they're out of the EU. I'm a big proponent of the EU. I think it's a really nice.
If you get
a really
together,
nice situation that we're in.
I think we are becoming. We are getting more together than ever with the Trump administration. Not that I don't like the Trump administration. I have nothing to say, but
it puts us on our toes.
We have to stand together, and we have to be strong. In the end of the day, we are the biggest market in the world.
We are.
We are. You are the biggest
really?
market.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Even greater than
bigger than China, bigger than the USA.
We are the biggest one, biggest one. So if we are the biggest one, we have to be important.
Yeah.
We have to be important.
I think that's what we need to stand with, that confidence. And
yes, we have to change things.
And we need to take it to Trump and say, we are.
I don't know what we have to say to Trump, or if Trump,
we are the biggest market, and we were like,
I don't know.
Okay, we're actually sorry, but we are the biggest market. If you want to sell to us, then you need to.
Yeah, maybe we can. What we can do is just grow and grow by ourselves, and maybe. We have to build an army and have strength.
Let's say
to defend
an army,
not to defend us,
not in terms of like with guns and green uniforms.
No, we have to have it. We have to have it nowadays. Like Germany is doing now, is voting to grow that part, and we have to have it as well, because we didn't. We kind of lived with the umbrella, under the umbrella of the US.
Okay.
And nowadays, maybe US is changing. Yes, maybe that kind of stuff is changing. And we are in the good point, because we had this crisis in 2011 that lived maybe through 6-7 years, and nowadays Portugal and Europe as a whole. We are much better in terms of debt ratio to GDP. So now we have maybe some capacity to invest, and we have to look through the sea, and understanding that US is trying to reduce, to make some austerity.
Yeah.
So maybe is our time to strengthen up.
I believe
to get our S together, and go speak with other countries, and maybe make the world safer than it is today.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think immigration is a big question in world politics, and particularly in the US. It tries to close its avenues for more immigration, and there was many arguments that when you look at the metrics in terms of the economy, we need immigration. I was talking to Daniel last week. Daniel Monch's podcast is out, and he was talking about the necessity, particularly in the area, for temporary labor to fulfill the roles of working in the fields, literally, keeping the economy here going with the fruit picking and things that we cannot find the labor here. We need the labor, and with a birth rate of 1.6 kids per every couple in Portugal, you need a growing birth rate. You need a positive birth rate, because if you don't have a positive birth rate, you don't have people taking jobs and paying taxes and basically more capacity for the economy. So is immigration the answer to that, or and how do we? Because it's
at some point it should be a
European-
mix, right?
Yeah.
It should be a mix. Nowadays we are always speaking about US because they
they're in the
occupy
media, right?
they are in the media all the time. But I don't have any idea about the US. I never lived there. I only have some small idea from the media. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
But I live here, and I know that we need workers, but we need controlled immigration as well. So it's not. I welcome everybody that wants to work here because we really need. And the truth is, the Europeans, we don't want to do some kind of jobs. I don't know. Maybe through the years we create these social safeguards, and it's really difficult to back him up. So nowadays we need immigration, but we need controlled one. We cannot accept everyone, and this goes without saying that. Of course, I see Syria and other countries that have big problems, and really, I don't want to see kids dying in the beaches. Of course, we want to help them, but on the same time, I really want my kids to feel safe in the streets, because Portugal is very safe, and we are not the richest ones, and maybe are not the happiest ones in all the measures that they have in OCDE, but we are safe. We are a safe country, and we don't want to change that. So we don't want to step back. So for us, it's really important to have these kind of jobs, to maybe have some measures that incentivize people to get more children, to help them, maybe to get some important investment from outside. There are some measures, the golden visa, I don't know, the startup voucher. There are other ones that wants to get investment in, but we also need these maybe low kind of jobs that they are needed here. So we want, for sure, I think, we want these people to come, but I want them to be controlled, and we all welcome all, but we want them to behave or to stay controlled by the policies, within the respect, as we do, as all of us.
A common understanding of
yes,
of how we live.
It's not against anyone. Yes, come, but respect our boundaries, our culture,
Sharia law.
Yeah, I don't want you to. If you are a Muslim and you want to pray, please do it. And maybe the companies that that are receiving them have to make some measures to put them to have that
to have families,
in consideration.
To have families come as well. And,
yes, yeah. But please come. And we have to make some measures for them to come and respect our values and stay between the boundaries. That's it. It's very simple.
In practical terms, because there is at the moment, you're seeing in a lot of the press, a lot of the media, like a trend for anti-immigration. It's like, they're either stealing our jobs, or they're coming into our European countries, and they are.
You see, that's really bad, because everybody that speaks about controlled immigration is a racist. It's not a racist. Come on.
Yeah. And it's like it's there is a definite growing. I don't know what you call it in the media, but like a fear mongering, perhaps. But we're all immigrants
we are all immigrants
in some way.
Yes, it's true.
But as a pure economist, if we're looking at the pure mathematics and the pure equations,
we need
what
people.
What is the benefits of of
need
immigration.
People. We need people.
And I understand the social acceptance is always going to take time. I was having a really interesting conversation with Rita earlier today. We were talking about, I'm not going to name the company, but where she was working, she was saying that she had like a private, quite a premium club where she was working. And she had 2 employees who were of not the same, what am I going to say, race. And she felt like they were not given the same attention or the same acceptance, or they were not given the same work. And she felt that. Not even
that's really bad.
That's unfair.
That's unfair.
Until they had to prove themselves like doubly, and then they realized, and the clients of the club realized, like, actually these guys do provide an exceptional service.
Yeah.
And then the fear was allayed, and then it was like, okay, now, but it's that initial thing, and you know, I hate to say, you know, I hate to talk about, because as a whatever, like, I don't understand a lot of this, and I think as a privileged, what I would call as a privileged white person. Maybe I don't experience the same thing.
We don't.
But we need to talk about other people's experiences and try to understand where they're coming from. But I think also we need to make sure we don't have like an overcompensation.
That's the problem. That's a big problem. Overcompensation is a big problem. If I arrive to UK, what I just want is that you are treating me as you treat another English
equality of opportunity.
That's it. That's it. Nothing else.
Equality of outcome. Yeah.
Yes, because in the end of the day, if I'm bad, I will be bad. Is not about if I'm Portuguese or I don't know from Zimbabwe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If they arrive here, they comply with everything. They have equal opportunity. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. But we need a lot of people here. Here in Europe, when I speak about here, is about Europe. Is about the Western world. We are not having kids or childs as fast as you
purely
need.
From an economist's point of view. Like if we don't have immigration, there's 2 choices. We either have more immigration or we have more kids. And having more kids is a 30-year investment in terms of a country.
We have to have both, because we need more people now and we have more kids in the future.
Yeah.
Because we have the experience of Japan. Of course, Japan is a rich country, and you cannot compare it. They fall from a real high mountain. So they were really rich.
Sorry, Pedro.
No, it's okay.
Let's take a little bit of intermission there. Let's open the Cristalão. Wow. So we taste it, because we can always cork them. And so we just drank just
Casa Relvas. This one is a real simple one. No, it's not Casa Relvas.
So we just drank we just drank a little bit.
No, we drank a lot. We drank a lot.
We drank a little bit of the São Miguel de Sol signature model of from Casa Relvas, from Alexandre Relvas. Thank you very much, Alexandre. It's their sort of premium supermarket model. I think it's actually in the supermarkets now is reduced from, I don't know, €12 or something like that to 5. And we're going to try another one from Pedro's recommendation. What
but this one is the one that you imagine an economist, an economist recommendation. It's a really cheap one. And this one was a friend of mine that really likes wine and produce wine in Vidigueira, and he called me and told me, you have to try this wine from Pingo Doce. It's really cheap.
And Pingo Doce is what? Is like the Portuguese supermarket.
It's a supermarket, and they do this kind of one casta wines. and he really likes this enólogo, which is Jaime Quendera, and he did this Castelão, and I think is really, really nice. And for the price, I think he's amazing.
Okay,
So let's uncork
this
this one.
time.
Yeah.
And what were we talking? You have to remind me. What were we talking
No,
about?
we were talking about immigration, and that we need a lot of immigration, even for the grapes of the wine.
Yeah.
We need a lot of immigration, and we need to increase our birth rates.
Yeah.
Because the experience that we have to compare is to Japan. They were rich, and they are rich as a country compared to other ones.
And South Korea as well, I think it's.
Yes, and they experienced a really bad time in terms of growth. They were unable to grow.
But how in an economist's vision, what has birth rate got to do with anything?
Everything, because you need bodies to consume, bodies to work.
And when you say consume, they need to buy things, they need to pay IVA or VAT.
We need bodies
tax,
to consume, to drink, to eat, to make business. Imagine a city without persons.
Yeah.
There's no establishment that
so there's no
can
people
be
buying
open.
things if there's nothing. You need people to buy things because therefore then you have employment of people to produce things and create things.
Yes.
Okay, so then it creates employment, and so the more people, the more products is needed, is the more people designing products and creating products.
Yeah, you have to create dynamics. And nowadays, if you don't,
so we all need to be busy producing.
Yeah, you have to do
and
something.
Buying
and there are not a lot of people in the world. It's not true. If you maybe you can put all the people in the world in some squares. So there is not a lot.
Yeah. And let's have a look. Oh, what's this one? I'm going to pour it straight over in this glass. This
So in Alentejo, we never do that.
Oh, you don't do that?
No, we never mix.
No, it's not mixed. Did I mix it?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, no. I've spoiled this wine now. Well, I'm not even going to describe the taste because it's mix. You have to describe the taste to me now.
No, I will not describe anything. It's good or bad.
It's good or bad.
That's it.
No,
I think it's only description that
it's
matters.
Good, but it's mixed with another wine. Did I really mix it? Did I mix it quite bad?
No, you mix the glass and there is a small. It's just it's not that important because we are not a wine. You are wine tasters, so
it's very nice. Yeah, it's very easy drinking. I classify my wine as in like too acidic and I can't drink it, or easy drinking and it goes well.
See, in UK you have the beer drunkards and the water drunkards. So now you are becoming a Portuguese one.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So, how would you describe the state of Portugal's economy?
You already described it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Really better, much better than me. So you are growing much better, not much, but better than the
European standard. Yeah.
And I think the prices here are not that high comparing to other ones. And we have several opportunities. Portugal is kind of a small world to discover. And I think if you invest in the interior, you are very close to the water and to the littoral, but you also can enjoy these wines, these kind of I don't know, this kind of experience very, very close, and the food is different. And I think that Portugal, everything is very close. We have very good highways. You can go to everywhere really fast. And I think there are a lot of opportunities. Is much better now to invest in the interior, in my opinion, that in the littoral that is pumping already from 10 years and is already, I think, expensive. But the market will say it better than me.
I mean, I think what Portugal has done very well is tourism. We all know about the tourism, and
it's about 15% of the
and then agriculture,
gross GDP.
Agriculture. We talked to Daniel Monch, we talked to Alexander Elvis.
It's not as big as you should be.
Agriculture. So we
should
have
be
more
bigger
growth potential in agriculture.
I think so.
And then we talked about with Tim Vieira, and we also had a really good discussion the other week with Michael Reeve from he's actually from the UK, but he's been here a long time, and he's the CEO of AFPOP, which is a property group here. And he was saying, like, why doesn't Portugal, how do we position ourselves in the future to attract some of the bigger opportunities to which arise? For example, like we had the Tesla Gigafactory, which we pitched for. We went to a certain process with the pitch, and Tesla decided to build a Gigafactory in Germany near Munich. And it's how do we,
which is unfair if you are competing with Munich.
Well, exactly. So how do we, as an economist, like how do we? Okay, we have the wine, we have the agriculture, we have all this potential, we have tourism, which has proven itself, and it's hard to fail because we have such good nature and castles and everything like that. It's almost impossible to fail with the tourism. And
the part of the tourism, yes, but you don't want to be just allocate everything to tourism. In the end of the day, tourism is you can keep 15% for tourism, but the other part, Portugal is much better now. So I believe that we are much better now than we were some years ago. Now exports, I think they do a shy of 50% of GDP, which is amazing.
Okay, so explain that metric, because I don't understand that.
Exports are doing 48% of the total GDP. So the income of Portugal are really good. So
we talk about the balance of trade.
Yes,
like our exports exceed the imports, or it's
no, they don't. I think they don't. But they are really important for us, and we are doing a good job in the exports part. Maybe we have to build brands, I don't know, to get really value from the effort that you put in. That's the difference between, I don't know, other countries. Spain, for example, has a lot of really big brands that create a lot of value from nothing. From really low state, so they create a lot of value. They say products really expensive compared to the cost of what they do.
And why is that? I mean, why is it? It's a international brand, or it's a Spanish brand, or it's a European brand, and they decide to make the headquarters.
The biggest in the world maybe are Italians or the French ones. Okay. They do stuff really cheap and they sell them really expensive. And I don't know, is a brand mark. I don't know how they do it. But the biggest thing that you can do is invest in technology, in education, to have infrastructure for the startups to come here. And for me, the most important thing is to accept failure. If you accept 100 failures and you have one good one, maybe that one will deal you out the other ones. So if you just accept the failures, because they are a lot. If you go to San Francisco and Silicon Valley, man, for sure, most of them failed. For sure. But there are Google, there are Apple, there are a lot of companies that grow from that system, and they didn't grow out of the blue, because the ones that fail just teach the ones that grow up strong how to do it. So you have to be able to accept the failure.
Yeah, it's like the venture capitalists.
Yes.
is goal, and they'll maybe invest in 100 companies, and then it's that one company. They'll make 99 losses, and one company will recoup the losses. So.
And you have to accept that. Yes. Sometimes you do investments, and they are really wrong.
So we need to make a structure within the Portuguese economy to.
I don't know if it's in the Portuguese economy. I don't know if
failure or
maybe is in the educational system. Maybe you have to teach kids more about probabilities, more about investment, more about finance, more than other things that the kids are learning that are not that important in real life.
And even if you get in what seems to be, because Portugal has a high percentage of educated and degree leavers and graduates, they will actually get their graduation. They will leave Portugal and they will take that investment that the country made in that.
Imagine
education.
a doctor nowadays in Portugal.
Well, then they don't work in London or
and is even more curious because the doctor earns good money here in Portugal, but they don't know how the finance works. So they go to a bank to get a loan. They just accept it because they don't understand. And that's a big difference between Europe and the US. They have financial literacy is much better there than here. So people are well educated, maybe as well as we do here, but they are very well prepared for the real life. And what I call real life is the things that matter the most, is the credit card that you do accept or you don't, the loan or the mortgage that you have to negotiate maybe 2 years out.
Cheap credit is an answer to which
you have to understand it,
like
really
low interest rates.
For example, when it was the COVID crisis, the US became much stronger because most of the people
capital in the system.
No, because of the people, the interest rates just came to zero. So most of the people that had fixed rate just came to the bank and said to them, "I have to negotiate the rate."
Okay.
And the banks have to accept because the competitor in the other side of the street are offering them a good rate. So and here nothing happened because nobody is aware of it.
I think they're right. Like I think it's I think there was a lot of good value in education here, and I think there's people with a lot of ideas. But you need capital, you need investment, you need investment groups, you need money,
and understand the value of probabilities. Because a probability of 19% means that 9 of 10 times you will be right, but there are 10. The one that makes a difference sometimes is wrong. It's okay.
Yeah. So should that be the bank? Because a lot of the banks here are.
The banks do this
government
stuff.
Interfered.
We will not change that.
Half. Some of the banks here are half owned by the government, right? So. They
only one. Only one. Caixa Geral de Depósito.
Montepio is also.
Montepio is Montepio is like how I say it is a cooperative.
Okay.
It's not a public bank.
Okay. But there does seem to be very difficult to get investment in business and funding. It doesn't seem to be as easy as if you were trying to raise capital in
US. No, of course not. That's why US is very strong. They have a lot of liquidity.
Even if your company aims to be global or aims to be European, it's still quite difficult.
Yeah, but nobody. That was one of the things that I understood through trading options was that you start to understand why US is much stronger than the rest of the world because they accept liquidity. They accept liquidity. They know the value of quick decisions and liquidity. So liquidity means that you are able to buy something and sell it really easily, which is a problem. If you imagine if you own a house, at some point, there is a problem with liquidity. If you buy a house and you want to sell it, you take a long time. Imagine if you have a health problem.
Sell it for cheaper.
Yes, and you lose a lot of money. The problem with in US, not the real estate, because the real estate is the same has the same problem. But if you are in the market or if you have a company, there are a lot of ways to get money and get out of stuff. So that dynamic is really impressive from them. Is what makes them stronger. Really much stronger than the rest of the world. Is very difficult to make a structure like what they did, because they just accept that. They just accept that there are the most important thing is liquidity. So we have to throw money, and the place to invest when there are something wrong in the world is to put money in the US.
I mean, there is arguments, and I know that the USA economy is like trillions of dollars in debt. Is that part of the price they pay for that liquidity, or
they have US dollars? Everybody wants US dollars.
Which is fixed on what now? Fixed on oil, or
no? It's fixed in US dollars. You just have to accept,
which is pegged to the
US dollar. There's no peg.
Not pegged to
anything.
A dollar of
no gold, no nothing. Just US dollars. US dollars, and they will pay. And there's no problem with them. The dollar is not cheaper. Maybe nowadays it's a bit cheaper. Who cares? Everybody needs dollars.
But if they have trillions of deficit, I mean, this is the whole argument for the DOGE, the Department of Governmental Efficiency, is to try to get rid of
they have this agenda.
Expenditure.
Nobody knows. At some point, the dollar will fail. But just because everything
of dollars in debt, and they need to check their balances and to try to be more efficient, so they're not spending so much. Because apparently their interest is more.
Yes, but we did the same, and the euro didn't got strong.
No. So really, the strength of the economy really is about the availability of cash.
What I believe is what market is saying all the time is what's gonna happen, what's gonna be important in several months. I don't know if 6. Most of the time, most of the people say is that that 6 months the market is always seeing half a year ahead. Sometimes it's much more. Sometimes it's less. I don't know. Sometimes the market is wrong. Most of the times the market is right. So here, what happened was Portugal was 137% in debt regarding the GDP, and nothing happened. Okay, we had to put some measures in, but the country went broke. Nowadays we are 97% regarding the GDP. We did our job. Let's see if US do that. Let's see how strong they are in the future comparing to us. If they do these kind of measures, only thinking about being more efficient, because the people that are working for the government or the people that they are disregarding nowadays, because if you have your old grandmother in your house, she's not very efficient there. You don't need her for anything. Actually, he costs you a lot. She costs you a lot. You have to change diapers. Sometimes you don't sleep. In the end of the day, you cannot throw her up. You maybe you can pray for her to die, which is not very nice, I think. But in the end of the day, you have to comply with your contracts. And maybe in the future, you can earn more money to put yourself, or say to your kids, okay, put me in a place that I be more efficient to your life. But now I have a problem, and I cannot disregard these kind of people. And I think nowadays the DOGE committee, some things that they are doing are right, and we can do the same here, but not everything. Not everything is not fair. It's not fair for most of the people.
I mean, because they're trying to thin out the government, and they're trying to thin out government employees and institutions, etc., which are providing jobs and providing services which obviously contribute to the economy. So it's like whether you have independent business creating jobs in the economy, or you also have the state creating jobs.
If you are cutting the retirement fees of that people, of course you have to do that. There's nothing to say about it. But that's not for sure. That's not what they are cutting more. There are some other problems. I don't know. But what I see is that they are making a lot of cuts that are not fair to the people that are working, and they choose to work. Imagine that you are 58 and you are working for the government. Maybe you are doing nothing really important, but you were there and you signed the contract. Maybe the government have to find a place for you to work more efficiently, to help more, but you cannot fire them at zero cost. It's not fair. It's not fair. You have to take care.
So what should we do? What would be if we had a utopian state, and you were backing, for example, Tim Vieira, who's going for president, and you were backing a party as in your economic expertise? What would be your key recommendations for making
be as free as you can, and
a free liberal economy that
be as free as you can, but I don't know,
regulation on business.
The utopia, which is impossible because it's a utopia, right? It's a mix of US and Northern Europe countries. So you have all this education, amazing education, and else and wealth services for free. And you have all the liberal and companies and money and liquidity of the US and UK. UK is the closer one to US, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting education, because it's one of those things that governments in a 4-year cycle. Education is what can we say, a 15-year investment. So why would you be investing in education when you're going to be out of?
You should invest in education, man.
Yeah.
It's the only path.
Morally, is the moral part, but is it?
And is it the efficient part? And nowadays we have AI. AI. Most of the stuff that we are doing in several years, for sure, will be. Robots will be doing that.
And how do we educate our kids to? Well, how do we educate our kids?
I don't know. I didn't see the future, but we have to do better than we are doing now in Europe, in Portugal especially.
It's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, it's in front of us, but we are doing nothing about it.
We need to what? Examine it. We need to have a.
I don't know. I'm not an expert, but maybe we have to say to the most intelligent and most prepared people that are now coming from universities in Russia, in China, in US, saying that please come here and let's build stuff here and let's teach these people here, and we have the conditions for you, and here is the money, and please come here. As the US guys are,
and how we get
we're doing
where we get the money from.
There's no problem. There is money for sure.
I mean, we have 9 million the population of Portugal. If we take a look at the percentage of say the average salary, and then we take a percentage of that which is in tax revenue.
I don't believe the startup guys. These startup guys, it's
got to come up from outside. It cannot come from within. It cannot come from government.
Yeah, it can come within, but you have to create the environment. The environment. You have to create the environment for them to come here and to compete with the best ones. And if they are, the most important thing is that you are you have rules every week. that's not good for a company. You have to have a set of rules that are consistent through time, and the people that come here or can look for coming Europe or Portugal see, okay, this is the rules. I can do my setup with these rules. If you are changing every day, it's really difficult. You are really, I don't know. You have no confidence to come here.
I mean, and that's talking about it from the normal person. If I'm employed in a job, say in a sales job or whatever, like, what is my motivation? If I'm working, even if I'm working from home and I'm working on and I'm earning, I don't know, say about 2,000 euros per month, and I have commitments to the tax office for X amount of that. I don't exactly know how much that is.
Yes,
but and I'm paying rent or mortgage, which is around 500 euros a month, and then probably my food bill is 500.
Yeah.
Then I have a car, which is another 200 maybe. What is my motivation? How can a company employ these people and say, what is their incentives? I employ you more, I pay you more, or there's incremental gains over time.
I don't know. If you are working for home, as I do, and if you are working, I'm working for a public company, but if you are working for a US company, probably you will earn much more than 2,000.
Yeah.
You will pay it in US terms in Portugal, which is
you're living
amazing.
in Portugal and you're earning a salary outside that you then spend in Portugal,
which is amazing for everybody, I think. Maybe not for everybody, but most of the people.
I don't know if they pay tax on that in the US or they pay tax.
They will pay. I think here.
They pay tax also in the US on it.
I think in both. I think.
Yeah, I think only in
there are some arrangements. I believe. But maybe if you are earning, I don't know, 10,000 euros a month.
Okay.
Imagine. No, it's not that difficult if you
I can dream on that.
No, it's not difficult if you are a worker for not for Google, because they are obliged to go to office.
Or you're a quadruple. You have
no, but
a
it's
man
not
with 3 wives who are working in
come on, man.
doctors.
Every Google employee, every engineer or coder maybe earns, I don't know, 200,000
a year. What is that? That's for
I don't know. It's much better. Is around, I don't know, 17,000 a month. Imagine if you live in Lisbon or in Porto, just working from home. Yeah, you will increase the price of the houses.
Yeah.
Is the only bad thing that will happen.
So it's like the digital nomad visa.
Yes,
and that's been successful.
But you can capture these brilliant minds to our country at some point,
because it's a good place to live, right?
It is.
So
I believe so.
If you can work remotely and earn the dollars or earn the.
It is not Bali, but it's Central Europe. Is really close to US. Is really close to the center of Europe.
It's English speaking,
more or less.
I'm joking. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, so that. But then how do we get the Portuguese salaries up though? I mean, how do we do that?
Yeah, we have to grow. There is no other way. We have to grow. There's no other way. Nowadays, we cannot earn more
in an economy. You need more business. With more business, you have more jobs and more expansion of higher paid jobs and more competitive higher paid jobs. With more higher paid jobs, you have the earning capacity to then spend on other items, more expensive cars and trips
it's
and
the
hotels
economy.
within
It's always the
Portugal,
same. It's
weekend
always the
trips,
same.
restaurants, bottles of wine. And then that always feeds
The
in.
simplest one is always US is very easy to understand because they have data and everything. So if you see, the biggest earners are the New Yorkers and the Californian ones. And Silicon Valley is impossible to buy a house. It's so expensive. Why? Because the guys there earn a lot of money. Why? Because the biggest companies in the world are there. New York, the biggest banks in the world, the biggest marketing companies in the world are there. So it's like here in Sines, we are in Portugal. Here in Sines, they are building a data center.
I didn't know.
They are building a data center that will employ at least 1,200 people.
And the 1,200 people,
That's a direct employees.
Where will they come from?
I really don't know.
No, probably
really
from
don't
India,
know.
right?
But I don't think so, because direct jobs, maybe they come from India. Maybe India are very smart. There are very smart people from there. If you play math with an Indian guy, middle school one, they are very smart. They are intelligent ones. And here, direct jobs, I think they estimate is 1,200. Indirect is 8,000. So you see, it's a small town. It's a small town.
That's going to be.
Will change everything.
There's going to be 1,000 people with a little bit of extra cash to spend in the town. That means a few more restaurants,
a few more restaurants. That's the indirect jobs.
The form they take.
You see, maybe when you come here and they estimate that this will be built in 2030.
Okay.
So maybe in 2032 we will have here much more jobs, much more companies, and you create, I don't know, maybe a small Silicon Valley. If the incentives are correct, maybe they come. Maybe they come.
So the government has a responsibility in some ways to make to make the visas more easy, or the working conditions, the employing conditions more competitive to other.
The government have something to say, but it's not just about the government. Everybody has to be welcoming. The Camera has to receive and create the conditions to the people to come. And yes, the government.
The Camera is the government, right, or not?
The
local government.
The local government. Yes. And we have to be open for them to come and accept maybe that a big company comes here and don't want to pay big taxes, but in the end of the world, maybe they are contributing more to the society and creating bigger conditions or better conditions for the companies that today are paying more in the future to pay less. I don't know.
And we have the foresight and we have the structure to be encouraging our students, our graduates, or our high school leavers to go into the education process, because we are then investing in these type of new data centers or economy that's going to be in the area. Or it's as simple as in like, we're going to create a data center and then
we didn't create. You just let we just are open for the people that want to create to create the data centers to come and create.
Okay, so it's a foreign investor coming to create.
It's not. I don't think it's the job of the government to create a data center. We have the conditions, we have the people, and yes, maybe the government has some responsibility to create the engineers or the possibility for people to come here to learn and to be interesting for the big companies to come here and create a data center or something else that they want to create. I don't know. It's not like an oil field that is there and you have to exploit because it's there. It's not. You just create the conditions for them to come. And
this data center is from where?
I think Google already are in. Yes.
Okay.
And I think is really creative because data centers needs a lot of energy and that there are a lot of renewable energy.
Yeah, I don't think
inside, and we have the sea. We have the sea that cooled because it needs to be cooled.
Yeah.
And I think the conditions are created, and the scene was open to do it here. So it's easy to replicate in other places all over the coast. And even the Gigafactory, I live in Beja. At some point, someone told us that there was this small possibility
of the Tesla.
That Tesla goes there because it's cheap. Nowadays, Lisbon is not cheap, but the inside of Portugal, the interior is really cheap. It is still cheap now. In the US today, the Público, which is a newspaper here, just put the first page, the front page, was that a lot of US people are coming to Portugal. And I believe they are coming because Europe is important and is starting to be important again.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing that I'm thinking about in my head is like what we're doing here in Portugal is we're almost in many ways is we're relying on exterior forces to come in and invest and to bring ideas and bring investment and to bring a data center, and then we create the data center, and then we want we're like, okay, how are we gonna create the employees for this data center? Okay, we can then get employees to come in to, which I understand is great for the economy because we need this growth and we need the expansion because the birth rate is not increasing and won't be enough for the initial deficit we need. But what I want to know is Portugal got like a plan from the process of like, okay, from educating our youth to creating opportunities in industry, and then from opportunities in industry, have we got an attractive area to invest?
No, we don't,
because we don't have. We create this data center, but like, did we provide an education system to supply this data center with employees?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
It doesn't
we don't
seem
have
to
a
be
plan.
like a plan,
but
you know?
I don't think anybody has a plan. Maybe China.
In China, yeah.
Maybe China has a big plan. Maybe India has a big plan.
It's what I was thinking about. In my head, they seem to have a long-term game.
Yes, we don't have.
We seem to have a 4-year cycle game.
We cannot agree. We cannot agree in nothing. It's
the weakness of democracy in a liberal capitalist society. Is that we?
I don't know. Maybe, but now the government just went down. Most of the people don't want to go to elections, and I'm not meaning that I like this government or other one. I just don't want to go to elections now.
Does it really make much difference?
In the end of the world, for small things, yes, because you have PRR, which is very important for building stuff, which gets stuck. You do nothing. You just get stuck waiting for something that in the end of the day, maybe now you know that will get change in 6 months because there is no great majority in our system. And maybe if something happens is if the media discovers something crazy about the ruler, it will change in the future. So there's no confidence, which is not the best thing for the investment.
Yeah.
And when I talk about investment, you need investment.
Long-term investment is
because Portugal is inside the world, and the money doesn't have nationality. The money looks for opportunity, and I'm not talking about money as a crazy capitalist, but we need it. We need it if we want to increase our wages, our salary, our ways of life. We need the money. We need the big companies come here. We need the Googles with all the free meals, all this stuff that we see in the movies. For it to be possible here,
how
we need the investment.
And how is it possible for I think how is it possible? What is the roadmap for creating our own Googles in Portugal? I mean, what do we need to put into place?
I don't know. Google, there is only one.
Yeah. But how do
they are dominating for 30 years or 20 years.
But there must have been a ripe field for these seeds to be planted and for some of those crops to fail.
You need liquidity.
And then that one crop to succeed.
Yes, you need liquidity.
And that's
liquidity. They all were born in the US, in the same place.
So the essence of a Portuguese economy and a capitalistic
Portugal
liberal economy
is impossible to be in Portugal. It has to be in Europe.
European liquidity.
European has to create the structure, the market structure for the people to want to be invested here. If I want to be invested here and get out in the other day, is really impossible.
Here as opposed to Latvia or
not here in Europe. I'm speaking about Europe. And maybe you create a small Silicon Valley here. I don't know. But
that's what I'm thinking. It's like we have
the market structure. The market structure of the US is in my opinion, is the biggest strength of the US economy. Is the one that is very difficult to replicate. The ones that tried was China, and they messed up when they tried to control it. When you control something, the market always run away because the market wants to be free. And here there's not a structure, a really good opportunity for you to enter in the market. If you want to invest in a company, please say me one company that you can go, and Monday when the market open, you go and you go in, and if you don't want to stay in, you get out really easy. It's not easy to do it. In the US, it's really easy to do it. And if you are a big investor, it's really difficult. Really difficult. And that structure is the only thing that matters, in my opinion, regarding the US comparing to us.
It's kind of crazy because if you imagine, if you look at the history of Europe and if you look at the history of Portugal, we had the liquidity. At one point in time, we had the investment, we had the capital, we had and somehow
they were smarter,
and somehow we lost it.
Yeah, and they were really fast.
Yeah.
They really
somehow
fast.
In the US, the ability to capitalize on their opportunity with growth. It's like how did Europe lose in this race, and how did the US win?
Because we are bureaucrats. Is what US are starting to become as well.
Yeah.
And so Elon Musk are saying that.
Do you think over time, a society and a culture, or
you are just saving your
very bureaucratic? It grows.
Yes, you grow
like
old.
A cancer.
You grow old. You are much more concerned with the things that you can lose than the things that you can win. And the US is not about that. It's always about the things that they can win. And nowadays and when I think about the US, I'm not speaking about the US government. I speak about the US companies. When they have the opportunity to buy stuff, imagine Facebook bought WhatsApp really fast. They bought Instagram really fast. They didn't care. But I'm speaking about the ones that we know that they bought. but there are others that they bought. They were nothing.
We didn't even know.
They just lost money, and they didn't care. They did two things. They created opportunities for them, and they shut up the competitors, the ones that were.
So we're talking about monopolies.
They were strategies. They defend their interests.
Is that liberal capitalism acting there? Or is
yes.
Or is that becoming monopolistic?
No, it is not monopolistic, because if you see in the long run, we are here for small time. We are here for, I don't know, maybe insane way, maybe for 40 years. 40 years. Imagine Google never thought that there is this big company, this company called Perplexity, that will change this way of search, or Grok, or ChatGPT. And now they have to run. So let the capitalists work. Create as less fancies as you can. I think it's the way to do it.
I really like the web summit that they have in Portugal. I think that's a massive thing.
It's expensive.
It's expensive
to get in.
I'm trying to get a press pass there, but it costs over €1,000 or something.
Yes,
crazy.
Good luck. And in the end of the day, maybe you will not learn as much as you think.
Exactly. You probably learn actually more on the internet just watching it.
Probably, or just doing random research in ChatGPT.
But I think that's definitely a step, because you can have people investigating the potential that we have here.
So I'm drinking water.
Yeah.
Let's refill and do a chin-chin.
Maybe I need a glass of water. Rita, my dear. Yeah. Would you like to say something on the microphone? You've never been on the microphone. Yeah, cheers. Muito obrigado. Thank you. Yeah, whenever we put stuff down on this table, we get a massive echo, don't we?
Yes, it is true.
It's like a dong, like a big.
So before we finish, I just want to let the listeners know that Justin will compete in jiu-jitsu. And he will maybe kill everyone in Barcelona.
Everyone's fearing that message that you just put out there on the airwaves.
It will be his birthday. And I believe Rita will do a filming or a movie about Justin performance there
in the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, of course.
Or on my birthday.
Both.
Normally, my birthday performance is better than the jiu-jitsu performance.
Let Rita speak about it.
Yeah. No, now we put it out in the airwaves. I paid the bill, and I got I've done all the paperwork, which I'm a big fan of.
I'm still waiting for the picture to be approved. I think they don't like
it was really funny.
Gray back.
We saw the Cabrinha, the World Nationals, or what is it called? The World International Masters. Whatever the group we have on WhatsApp, the Cabrinha, and David Maestro was putting on like IBJJF World Masters, 98.66 full.
Yes,
99.6 full. And everyone's going, I need to get my photo being approved. I need to get my certificate.
Yes,
and I'm sitting there going, how the hell did I get my certificate? I got my ID and I paid my thing like 2 months ago or something like that.
You are English, man.
I was very impressed. I was very impressed with myself, and I have to say a big thank you to your wife. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say this because
no, she is my wife.
No, I know she's your wife, but I should say a big thank you because she did my medical for me. It's my family.
Yes, but she's
my family doctor.
She inspected you and she saw that your foot is really bad.
My
and
foot.
your
foot.
knee.
My foot.
Yeah, your foot.
My
foot. Yes. So if you lose, you have a really nice excuse.
Yeah, I mean, I
Is there?
look,
Is there?
let's get it
They
to
approve.
with jiu-jitsu. You have to compete at a certain weight. Now, I train with Panda, who's
Heavier than
same
you.
grade as me, but much heavier. And as soon as he releases onto you and puts you on 10 kilos, he's very, very, very heavy. And I hate to be on the bottom. You know, I hate to be on the ground. I hate to be on the bottom in everything.
Man. No.
So
no.
I
You don't have the right mindset.
I do not like to be on the bottom.
You have to be prepared to sleep a bit.
No,
you just rest.
I can't. No,
he will move eventually.
I come from the MMA background where if you are on the bottom, you are likely to be elbowed in the face.
Yes.
So I like to be on top, and if I want to rest, I want to be on top, and I put the weight on the person under me, because the more you're resting with your weight on top of them, the less they're breathing and they're getting lungs.
Yes, but you did a mistake. He was already in your
exactly
in your side control. So
exactly.
if he's on side control,
even if I'm in guard, I always feel like I've made a mistake.
Yeah, you have to micro adjustments. I don't know much about life, but I think most of it is about micro adjustments.
Yeah, and I think if you're on the bottom, I think you don't want to be there intentionally. In jiu-jitsu,
I love it to be there.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting concept, and maybe it's a live concept as well. In jiu-jitsu, like, you can be on the bottom, but that's an advantageous position. But in my personal opinion, in my ignorant knowledge, I think if you're on the bottom, you're on the bottom, and I think especially in my weight category and in my grading, like. If you're on the bottom, it's very difficult to make an advantage or to get a submission for the bottom. And
it is.
And I think from an MMA standpoint as well, like, you have someone posturing and raining elbows down in your face.
In MMA rule set, yes.
Yeah,
it's true. But in jiu-jitsu rule set, you can choose.
Yeah, I'd much rather be on top. And I think also if you're on top, you have more. If you look at the point scoring system, you have a more opportunity in a shorter space of time to gain more points.
Yeah, but it's easier to sweep a person.
Yeah,
I think it's easier to sweep a person. So you get 2 points, and you get the psychology, the advantage of earning 2 points over one person that doesn't like to be on.
It does feel horrible when you sweep.
Yes, when you are
like
sweep,
you've lost.
Yeah.
You feel like, I've got that dominant position, and then you're swept, and then it's like, I've got to start all the way from bottom again. My main thing is never to lose.
And if you do a mistake, you almost are done.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, I know it's now on the airwaves, and I know my competitors out there, whoever you are, you're fucked. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to absolutely nail you. You're going to be completely pushed your head into the...
This is the Taken.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Do you remember?
Are we still like that?
I will find you.
I will find you.
I will look for you.
I don't know who you are.
And I will kill you.
You're gonna be born before 1975.
Yes.
And you're gonna turn up in Barcelona, but already you're gonna be quaking. You're gonna be shivering.
The ones that are listening for sure want to say to you, good luck. Good
luck. No, but I think the guy that I'm facing is Eastern European. So he's going to say like this, good luck. But you got to realize that, nobody trains harder than me. And like, all I do all day is I farm, and I have farmer strength, and you're dead, motherfucker.
He's right.
It's completely not jiu-jitsu. I'm just joking around. No, I'm not really joking.
He's
You're dead,
fighting
motherfucker.
with the carrots.
I'm picking carrots. You should see my fingers from picking carrots. They look like carrots. My knuckles are like carrots.
Really strong.
Yeah, and my nose is like a turnip.
Yeah.
Rita's saying, cut.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't know. So, do you think Portugal is an attractive market for stock investors?
No. Not at all.
No,
We have no companies.
No, it's funny. This is a question that ChatGPT generated for me.
Generated.
Yeah,
So say to ChatGPT, you have to understand better the people.
yeah. Actually, it's an interesting thing because I wanted to talk to you a little bit about we touched on AI a little bit and
which I don't understand, as nobody does.
No, I mean basically, I think AI is what artificial intelligence, right? So it's not real.
Yes.
It's not real intelligence. It's
Yes.
artificial. So they're basically in a simulation of all intelligence that is presumably out there.
Assuming that our intelligence, not mine,
so it's bad intelligence as well as
are not
good
artificial.
Yeah,
I don't know if it is or not.
No,
Elon Musk says that we are in a what he says in a representation or in a I don't know, in a video game.
Well, look, we have good intelligence, we have pretty bad intelligence, and we have terrible intelligence. And artificial intelligence is an assimilation of all of those. All right, so
I don't know what it is bad intelligence. I always thought we have intelligence or no intelligence.
Yeah,
bad intelligence. I don't know what it is.
Bad intelligence is the wrong information, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
So
maybe.
So we can. I mean, there's a lot of talk. Like we're looking at government efficiency is quite interesting because if we look at government expenditure and if we look at the state and we look at how many people are employed, and of course, there's two ways of looking at things. You have the more left version, the more socialistic, where we have a bigger government, we have more employees, which are then contributing to the economy because it's like a paid state economy almost. Or we have a more liberal and free economy where we have more entrepreneurship and business and live and die by the sword. How does artificial intelligence, how will that come into the economy? Do you think that the state or the more government run side of things is going to be more artificially run by what?
No, I don't think so. I think artificial intelligence is very close. That's the idea that I had, but I don't know anything. So it's a very random opinion. The idea that I have is like the internet when they came and was really important since 2000, at least for the normal human being. It came, it changed a lot of things, and the public employees and the public structures just adapted really fast. So I don't think it will be that big change in that kind of terms. It will create different jobs, but will not create a big gap between the people that are employed and the knowledge that they have. Compared to we will adapt for sure about with AI. I think so, and it was always like that. So I have no information, no feel that will be different this time.
I mean,
it's a new world, but it's not that new.
I mean, I find it amazing because I can organize questions and
yes, you can, but you cannot. 2 or 3 hours ago, you were showing
although I stuck to none of the
project, some project that you had, but still you need an architect to sign the paper,
the details. Yeah.
Yes, and that part is you cannot make the substitution. Maybe the middle ground jobs, maybe will be
contracts and lawyers and things.
I don't know the
accountants.
If you have a doubt, maybe you can put in ChatGPT and
I think
and receive some information to instead of go to 2 sections or 3 sections. Maybe you go just one to confirm the information.
I mean, as an economist, I mean, what is the parameters of your purview? What is the parameters of your job? Your job is to do what as an economist?
No, what I do, I just do calculations with the information that I get, and I just publish the information that I get.
So I can call you Grok.
Yes. No. I need the data.
Grok, right?
I need the data.
So you can use
the thing that Grok cannot do it nowadays
is provide the correct data.
Now is understanding the outliers, which is normal because you have to understand probabilities. That's why I was saying that is important for you to understand probabilities. What AI is doing is just finding an answer and just forecasting something. What I do or what the people that I work do is just gathering data and make calculations. That's very easy for every person. But you have to understand the outliers and understand if they are true outliers or not. That part Grok cannot do.
Okay.
And I think it will be difficult to do.
What is the outliers? What is the black swan? Is the
imagine that a company, a really easy one. Imagine that a company is selling houses. Okay? Imagine that a company is selling houses. 12 months in the 13th month they sold a big building. Is an outlier, but you have to understand if it's true. You have to be it has to be represented in the economy. You have to give that information. If it is not true, maybe AI will shut you and will say it is an outlier. Let's normalize the information. You see? That part is really difficult for AI because AI works with data, and data is good when it's normalized.
Okay,
it's really difficult for them to learn.
So I'm getting signals from our fan base there.
I think
Claudia and Rita.
I don't know. Claudia is almost.
I'd love to turn the camera onto them because they look very.
No. Claudia is very upset with me. I don't know why.
No. I think we should wrap it up there. What do you think?
I think.
Let me see if I got any more questions.
Drink a bottle. I think we have to drink a
Key
bottle.
Key takeaways.
Without this
economic
camera
trends
looking at me.
Portuguese wine production or global demand for Portuguese wines. I think we have a global demand for Portuguese wines. So
yes, if we make a statistical extrapolation of these 4 people, yes. Can I take this?
No, I haven't ended it yet. No, I was playing a jingle. I have a few jingles I have on my keypad. Listen.
The jingles is like it's like Preço Certo, you see? Price is right. You see?
When you say a joke?
I don't say jokes. I don't know how to do it.
Hi, this is Podcast Portugal. It's 01:20 in the morning, and we've had some really nice wine, and we have a really good discussion. I want to thank Pedro for his time, and also for
my English.
Yeah,
but Portugal, most of the people speak much better than me.
No, in English or Portuguese?
No, in English and Portuguese.
And both. You speak very well in both languages, don't you? No, I want to thank Pedro for his time and for this conversation. It was very fun, and
I was drunk.
Exactly. I was drunk at the time. No, but I think we need to mix wine with economics, because if it's just wine, it doesn't make any sense, and if it's just economics.
Is borders.
so combining the two, I think, is ideal, and also it's such a cool studio that we have here that maybe I'm going to put on the camera. And don't forget, you can come and stay here as well. You just have to go on to Airbnb, and maybe actually in the show notes I'll leave the link to the Airbnb here. What do you think?
Please, thank you.
That'd be
very
quite
much.
cool.
Yes, that's
because I don't want to leave a link to the economics thing, because like I don't know if people will benefit from that, really, right?
They will benefit.
You think for the
knowledge is knowledge.
Knowledge is I mean, like you don't have a website, right?
No, I don't.
No, exactly. But we can put them to the link of the
no social stuff.
No social,
nothing.
But what we can put to the economic. INE. We can put a link to there.
Yeah.
And what does that show?
It will show my work and the work of others. But I will send you the paper that I did in, I don't know, in February for January.
Okay, that'd be cool. Yeah, no.
We can grow quite a bit. We grow I think 6.8 or something.
Okay.
In the
so
service.
I can actually put that as a document, a download on the show notes.
Yes, you can. I will appreciate that.
That'd be cool.
Maybe they'll raise me.
That'll be cool.
They will not raise me. Yeah.
Wait, you mean the company will give you a raise?
There's no company. It's the state. So
it's the state.
Yeah.
But it's in Portuguese.
It's the same
document.
No. You have an English, but it's just a lead.
They have it in English. The document, really?
Yes.
Okay. What, they produce it in English?
I produce in English.
You produce it in English, so the people.
But it's few sentences. It's difficult to be bad.
Yeah.
It's always the same.
Yeah.
You just change the numbers.
Yeah. Okay. No, that'd be cool. But I think it's beautiful here in Portugal, and I think
tomorrow will be much better because today was raining.
Okay, full disclosure, the March in Portugal, this March has been completely crazy. We've had, what's the storm being called?
Martinho.
Martim?
Martinho.
Oh, no, not our son, Martinho.
Martinho.
Okay,
yes.
He's a little bit like Martim, but he's his own particular storm.
Yes.
And it's created.
It's ours.
With ours.
It's nothing to do with the US storms. Ours is bigger.
My polytunnel's blown over and there's mud everywhere. It's a disaster. And we planned on a nice beach day today and go surfing, but it's like massive stormy surfing.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Podcast Portugal and Justin West signing out. Thank you. Over and out. Thanks, Pedro.
Bye-bye.
Boop.
6 feet under the rock, I'm gonna dig a hole and hide all my magazines. All the spots are not obscene. I just need some time, some focusing. I got the pen, I got the sheet, I got my plan, I got my screen. Someone tell me